want you to receive what it means to be depressed. I'm keeping it simple. It is a state of unhappiness. It's a state of sadness and a state of hopelessness. Notice again, when you are depressed, you have entered into a state of unhappiness. And you are not just visiting that place, but you are seemingly stuck when it comes to being unhappy. And I know there are a number of us that though we can get stuck in a place, we have over time just learned how to act like everything is all right, or how to pretend or to be something that we are really not. But you will find out that you are only hurting yourself when you pretend rather than dealing with whatever the problem is. In other words, you have to learn to deal with what is causing you to be unhappy. You have to deal with what is causing you to be sad, or what's causing you to be in a place where you feel as if there is no hope. Now, I'm going to tell you about me up front. Though I battle the spirit of depression, I no longer allow it to overwhelm me or allow it to control me. Because I don't believe there's anybody who does not from time to time battle with depression. And I know some of us feel like if we could just get a couple of things right in life, that we would never have to worry about such things. But again, you are fooling yourself. Either you're ignorant or immature. Because I don't care, again, where you are in life, sooner or later you will battle the spirit of depression. How many know I'm right about that? And sometimes you'll battle the spirit of depression without really knowing what the problem really is. You just know you're not yourself. You just know you're not happy. You just know that you feel a sense of there is no hope when it comes to things that you desire to see take place in your life. And again, it is not the desire of God for his children to get stuck in a place that he hadn't ordained for us to be in. That's the reason when I come into the knowledge of God's word, I strive to walk it out, or I strive to live by it, because I know that is the will of God. And so when I know that it's not God's will for me to set up and be miserable, then when things come to try to cause me to be unhappy, I'm going to fight. In other words, I'm going to beat back the spirit of depression. I understand that it is going to come, but it is my job to fight or to resist being unhappy. In other words, I'm not going to just set up and be unhappy, and the only thing I'm doing is a bunch of complaining. No. I've got to do what it takes to defeat the spirit of depression. Mainly, I've got to operate in the word or in the will of God. You can't get to talking outside of God's will when you're battling unhappiness. You have to fight the good fight of faith. You have to fight in such a way that you are determined to be happy despite the trials that you go through. You are determined to be happy even when you get a negative report. You have learned to rejoice anyhow, knowing that your God has the final say. And that's what some of us at this point, yeah, you are going through some stuff, but you still got your joy. You are still giving God the praise. You are still coming in God's house excited. Am I right about that? Because you are going to fight the spirit of depression. Now notice this, people who tend to become depressed, when they are frustrated. When you become too frustrated with people, with circumstances, it is going to lead to you being depressed. Hear me again. When you get too frustrated with people, when you allow folk, as the saying goes, to get on your last nerve, you may just end up in an unhappy place. Frustrated with people. Frustrated about your circumstances. And lastly, frustrated with yourself. Because sometimes we can get down on ourselves too much, to the point to where you beat yourself down too much. Come on, somebody know that this is a word for you this morning. You have got to be careful when it comes to being too frustrated. What does it mean, Pastor, to be frustrated? Number one, it has to do with an overwhelming feeling of defeat. It has to do with an overwhelming feeling of defeat. When folk get frustrated, they just feel like it's over for them. Feel like there's no way out. No way that even God is going to be able to do in my life what need to be done. And they just feel defeated. Some folk, when they think about their marriage, they feel defeated. Some, when they think about their finances, they just feel defeated. Like there's no way I'm ever going to come out of this place that I have been in for so long. No way that I'm going to experience all that I desire to experience. And don't let it be to the point to where you are around people that are being blessed, yet in your mindset, God is not moving fast enough. See, you have to be careful that you don't get to the point to where you feel defeated again because you're not seeing what you desire to see. You have to always know that when it comes to God, that sometimes God chooses to start blessing us. Even though He's given you a mighty word, He will start off blessing you in a small amount. He will start off adding to your life in what seems to be a small way. And if you ain't careful, it will seem insignificant to you, but yet it ain't, because you should never despise the day small beginning. See, one way I remain happy is that I'm okay with however God chooses to bless me. I'm okay with the way that God chooses to set up His blessings in my life, even if that means I've got to go through a trial or a test before the blessing manifests. I recognize that even in the midst of the storm, He's God enough to bless me. That even when I'm going through a hot trial, God is able to drop a miracle in my lap that will blow my mind. And that's what He's doing for some of you. That's the reason you got to beat back the spirit of depression, because God has already foretold you that it is your time. It is your season, despite what that trouble is saying. It's your season, child of God, despite what people are trying to do. And oh God, y'all about to make me you got to know that. You have got to know that it is your season, and despite going through trouble, you can't allow the spirit of defeat to overwhelm you to the point to where you begin to put down yourself. And you begin to wonder about the promises of God. Wonder if God gonna do what He said. Wonder if what the preacher said is going to come to pass. Wonder if the prophecy is going to ever manifest. You have to be careful, because when folk get a defeated mindset, again, they will often sabotage their own blessings, and then will set up and get mad, jealous, and envy at somebody that got blessed, that they know the only reason the person got blessed is because they held on. And you would have gotten the same blessing or a greater blessing if you wouldn't have gave up. If you wouldn't have got to talking crazy in the midst of your trial, you knew that God was going to do what He said. How many times have God lied to you? How many times have God left you hanging? Never. He's always came through for you. Matter of fact, you wouldn't be where you are this morning if God hadn't have brought you from a mighty long way. Now the question is, who or what is causing you to doubt God? The question is, who has bewitched you to the point to where you no longer believe the word? You no longer believe that God will do what He promised. You no longer believe in prophecy. You no longer believe, again, that God will do whatever He promised to do. Tell that to your neighbor. Tell him God will do whatever He has promised. Shout to somebody, He'll make His word good. Shout it to somebody, God will make His word good. Woo! Even when trouble show up, God will make his word good. That's the reason you can't allow a spirit of defeat to come on you. And you start talking in a pitiful way. Start saying things just to get attention from people. Wanting others to feel sorry for you. Wanting others to join in with your pity party. And if they don't, you don't feel like they love you or they appreciate you. No, that's not right. You have to not allow a spirit of defeat to get on you. Do anybody know what I'm talking about? Number two, when you become frustrated, it is to be highly upset or to become agitated. I'm telling you, and some of us there this morning, when we think about the trouble we're going through, we are allowing that trouble to agitate us. Yes, we are, boy. We have entered into that third state, which is a dangerous place to be. Because when you're frustrated, it also suggests that you're fed up. Fed up. I'm disgusted. I am sick and tired of having to go through such and such. I am sick and tired of having to deal with so and so. See, there is a good side to being fed up, because when you get fed up from a positive standpoint, it will often cause you to do the right thing. But I'm not speaking of being fed up in a positive way. I'm talking about folk that get fed up and they done had enough and they're sick and tired of certain things. And before they know it, they begin to act in a foolish way. Because when you get fed up, you better be careful, because you are liable to get to operating, to behaving like a fool. Yes, I said a fool. You have to be careful when you allow trouble to cause you to get to the point to where you get to saying stuff like, I'm fed up with this. You can start behaving like a fool. Listen, been taught the word, but so fed up that you're not putting the word that you have been taught into action. You are allowing your feelings to control you. And like it or not, feelings are powerful. Folk get so fed up, they just feel like giving up on God, just walking out on God, just backsliding, just leaving the church, just no longer praying, no longer, my giving ain't working. I've been tithing for 8 months and still had nothing happen. You better go back and look at your life, because there were times that God rebuked enemies that were too strong for you. There were times that God rebuked the devourer for your sake that you did not even know was trying to take you out. You should have gave God a praise for that, because God defeat enemies, watch this, that are seen and unseen. You don't realize how many times folk have desired to harm us. Listen, but he won't allow it. Matter of fact, they had to jump on you, but he wouldn't allow it. That's the reason before I just get fed up, one thing I always do for myself is I always remind myself, even when trouble is seemingly big in my life, I always have to remind myself, look here now. It could be worse. Woo, wait. It could be much worse than what it is right now. God, I got to stop and give you the praise. Because that could have went another way. That could have turned out another way. But Lord, I see you moving in the midst. See how some folk ain't clapping? Because if God ain't doing what they want him to do, or what they feel like he need to be doing, they get fed up. You'd be surprised how many folk come to church, but they just about fed up with this living right thing. Sinners out here being blessed and getting better jobs and making more money and doing this, and this. How you know how much sinners are doing? See, you got your eye on the sinner, and you have taken your eye off of the God that saved you. But when you get fed up, get to behaving like a fool. Pastor, you can't call folk no fool. I know I can't. That's why I'm let the Bible do it. See, if the Bible do it, then you're going to have a problem with God. You can't leave out and say, that man called me a fool today. No, he didn't. So let me give you scripture. Okay? Go to Proverbs 29 and 11. Yeah, you have to teach this right here. This ain't no shout message right here. No. Some of us running around. Old saints having temper tantrums. Old saints complaining to the point to where if you had a spiritual pacifier, you'll pop it in their mouth and tell them, be quiet. Old saints acting like they didn't know trouble was a part of the journey. They didn't know they had to suffer. Oh, you thought just going to be all. No, it's not. Especially when you done sit up there and ask God to use you, done ask God to make room for your gift, done ask God to make you to the point to where you can be a help for somebody else. See, I watch people that come in the church talking about, Pastor, God has gifted me to do this, and this, and all I want to do is be a help to somebody else. Well, get ready, because before you can truly be a help to somebody else, you got to go through something yourself. You have got to be proven over time, proven through tests, proven through trouble, proven through tribulation, proven through hardship. Come on, somebody that know you are proven, going through a whole lot, but yet maintaining your integrity. You are proven. But anytime, even as a child of God, you get too frustrated and allow it to overtake you, you'll begin to behave like a fool. Saying things that you know you have no business saying. Tell your neighbor, he right, even though I don't want to amen. Tell your neighbor, he right about it. Watch this. How many have ever got fed up? Listen, and mess around and let something come out your mouth, your anointed mouth, off your anointed tongue. Like what, preacher? Like a cuss word. Or spoke a curse over yourself. Got so fed up with your own children, the one you brought in the world, that you spoke a curse so you can't do nothing right. But see, when you get fed up, you behave like a fool. Supervisor asks you to do something that's on your job list. It's required of you to do it. It's right there on what you're supposed to do. But you get an attitude, get the popping off at the mouth, acting like a fool, and you were just witnessing to somebody 3 days ago. Now you suspended for acting like a fool, costing yourself money that you know you need. Get to saying stuff like, I don't need this job, I quit. Then next week, you recognize this your last check. After you get that one you put in the hole, now you realize, what was I thinking? Got mad at your wife because she was telling you what was right, and decided to pack your little one raggedy suitcase and tell her you can do bad by yourself and walk out on your family, behaving like a fool. And just last week, you had everybody in a prayer circle talking about God done showed you something. Well, did he show you that you were going to leave 4 days later after you prayed? With your foolish self. Get to going through tough financial trial, being given, can see all that the church doing, can see the manifestation of the kingdom coming to fruition. But yet you have the audacity to come up in the church talk about, I want to know where my money going. I want to know what they doing with the money. I want to let you know you behaving like a fool. Why don't you go back and look at how many times we've had to help you out before you say something crazy like that again. But when you get frustrated, Jesus said, out of the abundance of the heart, mouth get full. When you get fed up, you lie to tell a person what you really think about them. Come on, somebody. Anybody ever just got fed? I'm just told a person, look here, the glove's coming off today. Let me let you know. Where my sisters at? When they just start doing that right there, let me. See, I've been holding back, but the glove's coming off today. Why? I'm fed up. That's when I'm careful when I talk to people that's fed up. When I know you fed up, I'm going to put some distance between me and you before you try to get to swinging and go, no, don't let nobody walk up on me and you fed up. No, brother, stay there and say what you got to say. I hear you. Talk to me. Don't jump out that seat, brother. Stay in the seat. Talk to me. Vent. Because sometimes it's necessary to vent. But you have to be careful when you're venting. Because when you're venting, it seems like everything start coming to your mind. Am I right? God, I wish you could see the folk that just look at me like, Pastor, I did it this week. I know you're right. I just can't say amen loud enough. I ain't got no mic, Pastor. You got me. I ain't got no mic. Be surprised. Folk that get fed up. Can I tell on myself? In time past, I've gotten fed up. Listen, with being married. In the book, not the book, the yellow book. I ain't looking for Job. I ain't looking for Psalm. I'm looking for attorney, lawyer. I'm fed up. See, I tell on myself, she you don't look at her all crazy. She has got fed up. Be surprised how many pastors get fed up with the church they shepherd. Don't want to counsel nobody no more. Pastor, can I meet with you? No, I'm busy. Start outsourcing the counseling. You don't talk to me no more. You call such and such down on Jackson Street. They're going to do all the church counseling now. I'm fed up with y'all people. See, you teachers like this, boy, folk just be looking. And they be looking like wondering that somebody, you said we weren't going to meet with him. Did you tell? And be looking at folk like, did you tell? Let's let the book speak. Somebody shout book talk. Look at Proverbs 29 and 11. Watch this. Proverbs 29 and 11. A fool vents all his feelings. Boy, some folks did the light just came on. They know their food. I've been venting. Oh my! The light came on. They forgot they was in public. The light came on. A fool vents. Look at here. All of his feelings. Tell your neighbor you have to check your feelings. Especially before you talk based upon how you feel. You cannot afford to just say everything that comes into your little old mind because you mad. Can't do it. Part of being mature is having the ability to be angry, upset, frustrated, but express it in the right way. Even knowing when to just say nothing. Because you got folk that when they get frustrated, they become argumentative. Say something. You talking last week. What you gonna do? Tell me now. I'm done with it. No, don't be done. You talking all that stuff now last week. But you know this person done sat in the seat of a fool and they vent all their feelings. And sometimes the very person who you choose to unload on has nothing to do with what you're going through. They don't even have a clue what the real problem is. They just know something ain't right with you. I don't look at this again, because even if you came in acting foolish, you don't want to leave doing it. You want to come to church and learn. If you don't want to learn yet, you still want to be a member, just don't tell nobody the name of the church. Don't be on that job acting no fool. And they're like, now where you go? Place refuge. Knowing my pastor Leonard Cochran. Vision make people productive in every aspect of their life. And I know I'm saved. I don't care how I act. Don't do that. If they say, where you go, church? They say, I go somewhere. My pastor won't allow me to tell you when I'm acting like this. But I have a church home. I tell you that. Y'all sitting out here like, it make no sense to come to church and be taught, but won't do it. Look at the scripture again. You don't want to be no fool. Watch this right here. Boy, this right here calls you to grow up. A fool vents. How many of his feelings? How much are they feeling? How much are they feeling? Again, when you get full, get too frustrated. Whatever comes to your mind, just watch this right here. It's going to be sad. We're going to tell on ourselves, okay, in order to help other people. How many have ever got so full, was venting all your feelings, that it was to the point to where your mouth was open, words were coming out, and you didn't know what was coming out your mouth. You didn't know the next thing you about to say. That's how fast you were talking. Hey, how many have ever been guilty? I know, good God. Some of y'all ain't been, some of y'all are like you do.
Thank you for watching A Word for Deliverance with Pastor Leonard Cochran of A Place of Refuge, Noonan. A Place of Refuge is located at 10 Fisher Alley in the city of Noonan, Georgia. If you would like to visit us, our worship times are every Sunday at 10:15 a.m. and Wednesdays at 7:15 p.m. To order today's message on CD, please call the church office at 770-252-3855 and reference the order number on the screen.